You're not a wife until you're ready to do these things. Now, I have told you guys time and time again, you have to be a wife before you're a wife. The Bible says, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and gains favor from the Lord. Now, don't misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not saying do wifely duties. I'm not saying cook and clean and do the do. What I'm saying is you have to carry yourself mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically like a wife before a man can identify you as a wife. So if you are doing any of these things, you are not ready. And let me just say this, you can always change, okay? And God did a work in me and he could do a work in you, but these things are pivotal if you want to have a successful marriage. If you do not trust yourself, you will not make good decisions on who to choose. You'll continuously second guess yourself, compare your relationship with other people's. I see that going on a lot on social media. So if you don't trust yourself, there's no way you will be able and equipped to pick a good partner. So what you should do is learn why you don't trust yourself. Do you not keep your word? Have you made mistakes in the past that you haven't forgiven yourself for? If that is true, start the process of forgiving, leveling up your mindset, leveling up your standards, and move accordingly. But until you trust yourself, you will never trust the person that you allowed into your life. So that is step number one. Step number two is you cannot be desperate. You are not ready to be a wife if you move in desperation. That's why I always encourage women to, yes, it's okay to want marriage, to prepare for marriage, but we do not idolize marriage. We do not sit around waiting on a man to marry us. You live your life and fully in God. You have friends, you have hobbies, you have things that make you happy that will equip you for your marriage season. So if you are moving around in desperation, or every room you go into, you're looking for your husband, or every body you sit down with you think is your husband, will self-sabotage your future. You will not see that person for who they are. You'll have a fantasy about them. You won't use your discernment. You'll miss red flags because you are constantly trying to seek this validation of being chosen when you are already chosen by Jesus Christ if you accepted him as your Lord and Savior, and that is good enough. Carry yourself, move accordingly, talk accordingly, act accordingly, and everything else will be fine. So we want to be wives. You are a wife, but you are not desperate. You are not ready to be a wife if you keep score. Now, let me just start by saying this. The definition of love, the biblical definition of love, talks about not keeping score. This is a tool that you will need to use when you're married. You guys are going to be together, hopefully, for 10, 15, 20 years. And I don't know when God is calling you home. Hopefully 50 years, okay? 60 years, 70 years of marriage. In that time frame, a lot is going to happen. And I'm not talking about abuse, mistrust, or anything like that. I'm not talking about stepping out. I'm just talking about day-to-day stuff. He's gonna make you mad. He's gonna piss you off. He's not always gonna be your knight in shining armor. He's not always gonna make you happy. He's not gonna always do right. He's a human being. Just like you're flawed, he's flawed too. The quicker you learn how to address something, address it with love, kindness, and respect, fix the issue, forgive, and move on, the better you will be. And again, I'm not telling anybody to dismiss abuse or wrong treatment, but if something happens in your relationship and you guys just had a tissy, get over it, move on. Don't be bringing up old stuff, sis. Y'all already crossed that bridge. You guys already said sorry. You're not bringing it back up next Tuesday, next month, next year. Do not keep score. That is your best bet, is just to let it go. You are not ready to be married if you think that your husband is just supposed to know what to do. This is what gets a lot of people. They think because we've been together for so long, or he knows me, that he's just supposed to know. Your husband is not a mind reader. Your husband is not a genie. Your husband is not God, okay? Things have to be talked about, and sometimes annoyingly talked about, okay? And I'm not dismissing weaponized incompetence. We have to use discernment to know the difference, but there are gonna be things that you're gonna have to reiterate. There are gonna be things that you're gonna have to explain. He's never been with you, and as you guys grow together, you are evolving, he is evolving, a different side of you is coming out. The single you, the new wife you, and the mother you are three different women, okay? So your best bet is to never assume that he just understands or he gets it. You have to articulate yourself. You have to ask for help. You have to lay out the things that you need and be very vocal about the things that you need to get your needs met, so resentment doesn't creep in, you're not sweeping things under the rug, and you're not walking on eggshells. else. You have to address things in a kind and respectful way, get your needs met, and move forward. You are not ready to get married if you shut down during hard conflict. Now, hear me out. There's a difference between needing space and time to evaluate. That's how I am. When I am upset, baby, it is not time to talk. It is time for me to take my moment. Let me get my corner. Let me woo-sa, get me together, pray, figure out what's wrong with me, and then I go back to my husband and say, okay, I'm ready to talk about it if you are, or we'll address it at a different time. We always address it though, because you can't just ignore stuff. But sometimes it's not the right time nor the right place, and us as women, we have to process our emotions. You have to process what you're feeling, what you're going through. And are you actually mad about the incident or maybe something else? And that's okay. But it's very important and imperative that you get to the root of what is wrong. But you have to learn how to communicate effectively. So shutting down and, throwing hissy fits. And some of us have grown up in environments where our voices weren't heard. Possibly you grew up with a lot of siblings, so you felt like you had to yell to be heard and all of these things. I get it. However, when you are in a marriage, shutting down or going crazy or crashing out, so they say, is not a best bet. That is not an effective way of communicating. That is not good to do. You need to learn how to communicate your needs, your wants and your desires, and do it while you're single. Practice now. Okay, don't wait until you're married. Do it now with friends, family, coworkers, whatever. Don't sweep things under the rug. Address them head on. Get used to having hard, uncomfortable conversations. Maybe not in the moment, right? Again, you might need to take your time, take your corner, but come back to it, address it, and leave it. You are not ready to get married if you hold his sins higher than you hold your own. Now, let me just say this. All sins are created equal in the eyes of God, okay? There is no sin greater than the other. I know that sounds crazy, but God said what he said, so we're gonna go with that. So yes, he may have done certain things to piss you off or that were sinful, but keeping a hardened heart is also sinful. Having grudges or holding grudges is also sinful. Not forgiving is also sinful. Gossiping is also sinful. There are things that we can do even though they don't seem as bad, and that's still sin in the eyes of God. So don't try to make it seem like your man or your husband is just the worst person in the world and you walk on water. No, understand his humanity, understand your humanity, and understand that you're gonna have to forgive 70 times 7, just like God is forgiving you, okay? So always understand, never hold his sin like, oh my God, he did this. Girl, what did you do? We gotta work on us. You gotta pray for your man more than you pray about your man. Clock that T. You are not ready for marriage if you compare what your man is going to do, your future man is going to do, to somebody on the internet. Now, there is a creator that is amazing. She's beautiful. I love her marriage from what she shows us, and her man takes care of her, okay? But they're also wealthy. And she went on a trip and she was like, I don't have to do anything. I don't even have to pack. All I gotta do is show up. I could turn my brain off. And I love that for her. I love that for anybody that has that experience. That is not my experience, right? I'm the planner. I'm the one that books things. I'm the one that handles all of that, and I love to. Okay, that I love it. I thrive in a plan. But sometimes people can look at that and be like, well, dang, my man doesn't do that, or my man doesn't do this, or my man hasn't taken me here, and my man doesn't. Baby, are you happy? Like if social media wasn't a thing, would you be pleased and satisfied even if y'all are just sitting on the couch? And I'm not telling you to not have standards and not want certain things or not experience certain things. There's nothing wrong with that. That's human nature, right? If we see somebody that goes on a cool vacation, we might be like, ooh, I want to try that too. That is fine. But when we are comparing our spouses to somebody else's spouse, that is covetousness. You're wanting something that somebody else has when what you have is amazing, right? That's like if you like lilies, but this girl gets roses and you're like, looking at your lilies like, oh, well, she got roses. I want roses now. But you love lilies. Girl, love your lilies and stay in your lily lane, okay? Do not compare your man to social media. You will be disappointed. And here's the thing. We never know what's going on behind the scenes. And I'm not saying that when people turn off their cameras, they're not being treated well. I love that for the girls that are being treated well. I think that they're being treated amazingly, and I love to see it. But they're married to somebody that you're not married to. They're with somebody that you're not with. You might hate this man behind closed doors if you were with her husband. That man is for her like she is for him, okay? So you can't compare yo Steve to her Michael. Don't compare. And if there's something that you want to do or experience, bring it to your man, but don't be like, oh, look, Sheila went out the country. I want to go out the country too. Girl, just be like, hey babe, I think that we should go to Jamaica. It looks amazing. Look at this. See that? See that? See that? One is persuasive, one is comparison, and comparison is a thief of joy. Okay, you are not ready to get married if you see your future spouse, your boyfriend, or anybody that you're in a relationship with as a resource and not a child of God. Let me explain. I often hear women on the internet and sometimes in real life talk about men as if they're like ATM cards or something to just have, like something to check off, like a Birkin bag or a Chanel bag or just something tangible. He is a human being. So if the only reason why you want to get married is to be rich, or the only reason why you want to get married is to stunt on everybody else or to have your wedding, you're not looking at that man as a fully fledged human being. That's just the same as a man who just wants to get married so that he can have somebody cook or clean for him or replace his mama. That don't feel good. So why would you want to do that to somebody else? You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with wanting to be taken care of and treated well. All of those things are amazing, and I want that for all of you. However, that is not your husband's first job. His first job is to honor God, okay? And through that and loving you as Christ loves the church, then all those other things will be added on to him because he seeks ye first the kingdom of heaven. You know what I mean? You should look at him as a child of God, respect him as God's son, honor him as your husband, not as a resource or something that can just be done. And it kind of breaks my heart. There are so many married women who they mean well, and I get that it's content, but they kind of make their husband seem like a character in their world a little bit. So it kind of, and not meaning, I don't think they mean to, but it kind of skews women's vision of marriage. Like, that is your life partner. That is the person that you vowed to honor and love and cherish through better for worse, through sickness and health. You know what I mean? And just so like he should be treated as such, a human being, just like you want to be treated with respect, love, and reverence and all of the things. So I just don't think that you're ready to get married if you're looking at a man as a resource and not a human. All right, okay, y'all ain't gonna like this one, but you're not ready to get married if you can't be selfless even when your husband ain't doing his job, okay? Let me tell you, if you are married, there are going to be times your husband's going to piss you off, make you mad, do everything that he's supposed to do the way you want him to do it, or he going to have his off days just like you're going to have your off days. And if you're holding him to this unrealistic standard, or you're holding yourself to a standard of I'm only going to do X, Y, and Z if he does X, Y, and Z, like this tit for tat, like this, well, no, I'm not going to clean or cook or treat him right or treat him with respect because he made me mad today. Now, again, I'm not saying be a doormat. I'm not saying dismiss negative behavior. You always address it. You always, face it head on. Like, set your boundaries, sis. However, you are still serving God through your marriage. And I don't think some people understand that. There are times when I don't want to do what I want to do. I don't want to do the things that I have to do as a wife. And then I remember that I'm serving God. I'm stewarding this marriage well as a reverence to God's blessing to me, as a reverence of honor and thankfulness, because you could say, oh, well, I'm happy to be married all you want, or I'm happy to have my man, or my kids. But if you're not showing or expressing or acting accordingly, how can God tell? Right? Just like the Israelites, when they came out of Egypt, baby, they was complaining, crying, script, all of it. God was like, excuse me? I brought you out of slavery and you acting a fool. He brought you out of singleness and you acting a fool. So make sure you guys are understanding that you gotta be a good wife even when you don't want to. You gotta show up and be a good Christian woman even when you don't want to, because you're serving the Lord. And hear me out. I'm not saying that you don't deserve space to be human or you have to do everything right and check all these boxes. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, even when your husband don't husband, you still got a wife. Because at the end of the day, y'all answer to God, not each other. So just saying. You're not ready to get married if you are not willing to be a safe space for someone. Oftentimes women, we want to vent, we want to we want to be the center of all of our emotions and all of our but some of us don't know how to be vulnerable and hold a safe space for our men, or allow them to take their capes off and be vulnerable, cry even, or just let us see that they're not perfect. And I think that that's very dangerous. Allow your man space to be human, allow him to have his emotions, and don't rub it in his face later. And one thing about it, two things for sure. If a man is vulnerable with you and you put that back in his face, or you use his words against him, baby, you ain't gonna get that man no more. So be careful. Don't ever use a man's vulnerability or things he told you in confidence as a weapon, and vice versa. If a man uses your vulnerabilities as a weapon or throws something in your face that you told him in confidence and in a vulnerable space, clock that. Clock it for what it is. Check it at the door. At the door. Okay, I have a few more for y'all. I know this list is long. Y'all used to the quick tips. Y'all used to the 1 2 1 2. I told y'all I was gonna give y'all the tea. Y'all said on TikTok, my TikTok lives. I told y'all on my TikTok that I'm gonna start dropping some real gems on my YouTube channel. So make sure y'all subscribe. I hope you guys like this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up. Share it with a friend. Don't be stingy. Don't be stingy, girl. Share it with a friend. Let a friend know what's going on over here. Don't hold it to yourself. Don't be like that. Don't be selfish. Sharing is caring. All right, so you are not ready to be married if you are lazy. Let me tell you what. I don't know who is out there drinking the soft girl life equals lazy life Kool-Aid. Baby, it's not. I personally feel, especially because I was in the military for 14 years, I know what hard is. Okay, I know what manual labor is. I know stress, I know anxiety, I know depression. I have such a soft life being married, okay? Now, I'm not trying to say your life got to be like mine or anything like that, but just because I have a softer life doesn't mean I get to be lazy. Now, do I have lazy moments where I'm tired? I need to rest? Absolutely, baby. We rest over here, okay? We rest when we need to rest. We do not overwork ourselves. We take breaks. We step back. We are not in hustle culture. We gonna get our rest on, and that is beautiful, and that's okay. However, resting from time to time or when it's needed is not laziness. We are not lazy. Okay, she suffers nothing of laziness. Proverbs 31. Okay, we are not lazy, especially if you want to be a mother. Baby, you were always on most of the time. Unless that child sleep, you were on. And yes, they have a father, but you're still a mother. You're going to be on. So do not get married if you think that, oh, I'm about to get married and I'm going to put my feet up. Yeah, until you have kids. It ain't for the weak, okay? So no laziness. Okay, I got a couple more. Just a couple more, rock with me. You are not ready to get married if you have a hard time forgiving. I kind of alluded to this earlier. Forgive quick, forgive fast, and let it go, okay? Forgive 70 times 7. Let it go. It's gonna be better for you. Don't hold grudges. Grudges make you ugly. You know, it's like drinking poison and expecting your enemy to die. It makes you ugly. Don't hold grudges. You are not ready to get married if you cannot find happiness with yourself and God. Because let me tell you, you gonna get married and he's still not gonna be enough, and then you're gonna be mad and thinking that marriage is a scam. You have to be happy before you're married. Whatever you are when you get married is how you're gonna be. You're gonna be that times 2, okay? You're gonna be who you are times 2. So if you're unhappy before marriage, getting a man, having a baby, getting a house, and all of it, they will add happiness. But at the core of your happiness is you, and you still have to do the work. There's things that come and go, postpartum, depression, all of these things happen to us. We're women, we're not exempt from the things of the world just because we have Christ. Now we can lean on God. We can lean on God to help us through these things, but we're not exempt. You are not ready to get married if you do not manage money well. Now hear me out. I'm not saying that you have to have a doctorate in finances or have everything right or never misspend or anything like that, but you want to have a good generalization on how to budget and save. So when you enter a marriage, you can clock if somebody's mismanaging money, if they don't manage money well. You want to have a knowledge on credit. What do you need to get a house? What do you need to get an apartment? Where do you need to have some financial literacy, because if you do not, you will most likely end up with somebody who also doesn't. You're going to be in the dark and then be left crazy. You need to understand finances, because what if you are the one in the relationship that knows the most and does the most and executes? You want to make sure that you understand finances. You do not want to get left looking stuck, dumb, Understand at least the basics, okay? If you guys want a video on this, let me know. I had a video on how to budget and save. I can rework that for this channel. It was on my old channel, but at bare minimum, you need to know how money works. You need to know management. You need the basics of investment. You need like money management basics 101. There's so many YouTube videos out there. There's so many Chat GPT, all of the things. Okay, so know how to manage money. I'm telling you. I'm not one of those women that hides money from her husband or says, oh, you need to have a secret account just in case. No, but you should know what's going on. You should have access to the accounts. You should know what money's coming in, what money's going out, where the money's going. You need to know. And that starts with basic financial literacy. So make sure you understand money, girl, or money gonna run you. Okay? Okay. 2 more. You're not ready to get married if you do not care about yourself. If you don't take care of yourself, you do not care about yourself. And hear me out. There's a difference between somebody going through depression and having anxiety and having these things is to reason why they can't take care of themselves. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about where you just don't care. Like anything goes. You have to care about yourself because you are only going to get the equivalent of yourself, how you treat yourself. So if you treat yourself bad, you're going to get the equivalent to that. Okay. So make sure you are pouring in the self-love, the honor, not being egotistical, but really taking care of yourself the best way you can in the moments that you can, because you can only get your match. You like love wise. How much you love yourself is what you're going to get in return. So make sure you take care of that, because no amount of man is going to replace the love that you have for yourself. You need it, even in marriage. Even in marriage, you need that love, that self-love, and taking care of yourself for sure. All right, last but not least, I know this was long, y'all. Give it a thumbs up. I hope you guys share this video out. This is the last tip. If you are not willing to die to yourself, like we are supposed to do as believers in your marriage, and die to your way, die to your old self, die to your old habits, die in order to make your marriage work. And I'm not saying this in a torturous way, like, oh my God, I'm a slave. No, I'm saying you ain't gonna be you. The single you is gone, baby. You have connected and binded and conjoined to one, okay? So you are no longer your single self. You are a wife. You are a part of a 3-cord rope. Okay, it's you, your husband, and God. You ain't one no more, okay? I think a lot of women lose themselves or find themselves in this crazy cycle. And let me know if you guys want me to do a video on how not to lose yourself, because I think that that's super important. But a lot of women lose themselves because they're trying to hold on to an old version of them that doesn't exist anymore. You have to love, nurture, and bring forth the new you. Now, if you stay to the end, I have a secret surprise for you. I have a wife prep bundle to prepare for marriage as a single person, and I'm gonna give it to you for $39. It's normally $297. I'm gonna hook you up for $39 because it's my birthday month. I'm feeling generous. Now, I don't know how long I'm gonna keep this code up, okay? So make sure you get it ASAP, because once it's gone, it's gone. Okay, so make sure you guys get it. Everything will be linked below. You can use the code that is on the screen, B-Day, because it's my birthday. Use code B-Day and get your bundle, okay? But I hope you guys have a good one. Love you guys and have a beautiful and blessed day. Mwah.